I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
2019 Acura MDX
A-Spec.
So it's faster.
No.
Handles better?
No.
Looks cooler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks way cooler.
And we've got the new precision infotainment.
No, we don't.
But the new precision outside.
Yes. So let's talk about horsepower first because it's the same across the board.
Horsepower and torque.
290 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque from a 3.5 liter V6. Naturally aspirated, unlike the new RDX.
Very cool. And this is super handling all-wheel drive, which we know is amazing.
Yeah, I straight up love super handling all-wheel drive. It is not a gimmick.
So let's test it out on Cliche Corner.
Which is gimmicky of a corner. And I'm gonna put it into sport mode as if it makes pretty much no difference because we don't have adaptive suspension in this. But as long as you stay on the throttle, this thing handles extremely well. And I can see all that by looking at my gauge cluster graphic showing me where the power is going. It's a perfect illustration of the power distribution.
Earlier this year, we did test out SH all-wheel drive on the MDX and RDX when we were in that secret facility in Ohio for the NSX and stuff.
Exactly.
And we got to drive it on these gravelly roads and we were flying through there. And you know what? The MDX was more fun than the RDX, even though it had the older SH all-wheel drive.
Yeah, so it's got a Gen 2 and then the Gen 3 is in the new RDX.
But it got like driftier where the RDX, I think, just got you through better.
Yeah, you can't actually turn off traction fully, which is what we found out in that gravelly course. It was always just kind of like reeling you back in.
But this isn't like a Hoon car. So
no,
whatever.
not at all. Yeah. So overall, the suspension is very comfortable. It doesn't feel like it's too stiff. I wouldn't even care about having adaptive suspension in this. There's not a lot of body roll. Like, it handles really well. This is one of the best handling SUVs, especially in this size. Yeah, exactly. So this is a 3-row. I don't know if you guys can see that back there.
Can you fit back there?
No.
I can kind of fit back there, but you can't. You're 6'1.5".
That's right. I can fit in the second row, but third row is just, no, I'm just going to shoot myself.
And the second row can move forward and back.
Yep.
So let's do a box test?
Yeah, let's do it.
12, 13. Get a box on patreon.com/TheStraightPipes.
Not bad. And coming out of a box test, visor test.
This is probably gonna pass. 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Wow,
That
Acura.
sucks. And then let's do a cup of coffee. I got a medium McDonald's this morning because that's where we went, and it fits.
I don't know if a small Timmy's would pass though.
They'll probably be on the edge.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Never. Back to some power and handling. Honestly, it pulls pretty hard and it sounds pretty good. But apparently what's supposed to happen when you put it into sport mode is it's supposed to get louder, and I don't notice that at all. So I'm going to talk about these dynamic modes because I think they're a lie. None of these things make a difference. The only difference that I see is the steering wheel gets a little bit heavier in normal comfort and sport, in sport mode obviously.
When I pushed the S button, I did notice that the pedal was a little like more responsive.
Okay, so that's a different sport mode. So that's the transmission sport mode.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about this dynamic mode, which is separate. That's for the dynamic mode, the integrated dynamic system.
Maybe that affects how much the wheels turn and super handling all-wheel drive and stuff.
Maybe, but I honestly don't feel a difference.
Maybe you need to be at the edge to notice the difference. Maybe it's for like racetrack stuff.
Maybe. I don't think so. They should have made a bigger difference between those drive modes, or just not included. And then we have a 9-speed transmission. Not my favorite. I prefer the one in the RDX, but it's still fine.
So now to those gauges, let's quickly show the interior first, and now the gauges. We've got a digital screen in the middle, but you can't show your speed there.
No, you can't.
But you can make it blank. So like, everybody's just so close to getting it right, but so wrong.
I don't mind it at all. I can see the numbers very clearly. And we can cycle through all the little modes with our right thumb, and then the left thumb just controls our volume.
And we also have our cruise control and lane keep stuff, and it does work very well, the lane keep.
Yeah, Acura watch, whatever, Honda watch. I keep forgetting what it's actually called.
And the feel of the steering wheel and everything is nice. It does look good.
Yeah, it looks great, and it does, like you said, it feels good. This texture on it, I like it. The paddles don't really feel too cheap. They look premium. I think they're just like plastic chrome, but they look nice and they kind of feel good.
We're allowed to say premium because Savage Geese has been stealing all our footage from our iCloud.
Yeah, exactly. Premium features. And then on the steering wheel, Acura likes to use physical buttons, which is great. So we actually have a physical button for our heated steering wheel, and thank you for that. Yeah, that's a round of applause for Acura. We'll talk more about this interior and infotainment later because it's very ancient and we need to address a lot of issues, but let's talk about the outside because this thing is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, this thing looks really, really good.
I love it. I love the new design language from Acura. This looks great.
From the back 3/4, it looks nice, thick, and you see those huge exhaust tips.
Yeah, so that is unique to the A-Spec along with the rear bumper.
So the exhaust tips are real, and by real we mean...
they're actually metal tips connected to smaller metal tips.
So in the last video you said 2019 real, is an exhaust tip with an actual exhaust behind it. 2019 fake is a fake exhaust with the muffler pointing down. So what is this?
This is like 2000 real. Like this is like real.
2000 real.
Yeah, yeah.
Bring it back old school.
Yeah, this is great. This is fantastic.
Do you like the diffuser?
I love the diffuser. It's like very aggressive for this type of car.
The diffuser and the little rear spoiler like have a nice cool look, and all the black going against the white makes it really pop.
Yeah, and then the taillights look all right. Nothing special, but they fit the car.
Very not special.
Moving around to the wheels, I really like these wheels. They fit the car. Again, they're big. I think these are the only ones that you can get as 20s on the A-Spec.
How about the front end?
Front end looks great. The grille is massive, and a lot of people don't like that. I like it.
I think it looks really cool, and like the way it's spread across the whole line of Acura, except for the NSX, their Halo car, is pretty
yeah,
cool.
exactly. And then people also complain about the gigantic front emblem. I love that because then you don't need an additional weird little black box underneath it somewhere in the bumper.
Yeah, and I think it looks gangster, like having it so big.
Yeah, because by the way, that's for the sensors.
Now to the headlights, I think they look pretty cool, just like the other Acura headlights. But what's nice about them is that when you've got it on full headlight mode or daytime running light mode, they both look good.
Yeah, I actually don't like them as much as other Acuras because there's no regular daytime running light LED. It's just the dual eye lights. That's it. I would like a little outline up at the top or something at the bottom.
Well, there's those two modes that have yellow lights as well, and then the full headlights has fog lights. It's kind of confusing, but when you get it right, it looks nice.
Yeah, I still prefer the ones on the RDX and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, speaking of RDX, the RDX had some really, really wicked side body lines. This one, I don't feel like it has as much. I feel like I'm gonna have a harder time making a nice thumbnail compared to the RDX.
Yeah, I do agree.
Look at this RDX thumbnail. That thing was popping.
It was popping.
But this is good too.
This is good. Plus the RDX was in a nicer color. This doesn't pop as much. Just white.
Yeah.
But this is an optional color. This is a $500 option.
It's good. It looks really good in white, but I think the blue is probably the best color for an A-Spec.
I agree. The blue, yeah, the red's really good, but the blue is 100. Yeah, I agree.
Even though I'm not a fan of blue.
Yeah, but it's like a really nice blue.
Okay, back to A-Spec looks. We do have blacked out chrome.
Yes, we do, on the front grille, and then we also have blacked out headlights, the actual inner part of them. And then we also have the A-Spec badges on the front. It's nice because they didn't put like fake vents or something like that, just the badge.
Even though there are kind of fake vents.
Well, kind of. But they're at the front, not the side. You know, like the fake fender vents? Yeah. That's pretty much it for looks. I really think this is a good looking SUV, like one of my favorite looking SUVs in this class.
I think once the interior matches, once it has the Acura Precision RDX style interior, then it'll be the complete package. But let me drive and complain about the infotainment.
I'm gonna complain about the infotainment too.
Double complain. So we don't have the RDX touchpad infotainment. We've got the old one from all the old Acuras.
Very old.
And it's got like a scroll wheel, a touch screen, a non-touch screen, old 2005 style maps, too many weird buttons in the infotainment, not enough hard buttons, pretty much the worst of everything.
But we do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is kind of nice.
That's essential.
Yes.
We do have rewinding satellite radios, but to use the rewinding satellite radios is so difficult.
It's just one extra button.
It's one extra button each time. Even if I switch from channels on my steering wheel, it resets the replay screen every time.
Okay, that's a little bit bad.
The RDX was a little bit tricky to learn with the touchpad. If you're a little more old school, a little more clicking buttons, a little more, I only listen to one FM radio station when I get in my car, then this is fine.
Yeah, it is fine.
And it'll probably last for a while because it's proven technology and like, you know,
Probably.
whatever.
I know.
Maybe for more technologically handicapped people.
Yeah, just buy the last generation of this with this infotainment in it.
If you don't care, you got Apple CarPlay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, one thing I actually want to point out about the satellite radio for once. Going to the tuning menu, it gives you a bar to tune like 1,000 stations, but it only goes up like to 300. It's terrible. So you have to, if you're trying to get to 44, it's going to take you like 22 clicks to be able to get to 44 because you keep trying to click it, click, and you're always off.
Maybe when they designed it back in 2004, they didn't know how many satellite radio stations there'd be 15 years into the future.
Yeah, maybe. And another thing that I don't usually complain about, we have a very low-res reverse camera. So I'm a little disappointed because it's an Acura, it's not a Honda.
We don't have a 360 camera in this one.
No, we don't.
But you can get that in the non-A-Spec trim.
Exactly.
I think there should be a new rule. If you're a luxury brand, you need to have a super HD camera. So I'm talking Lincoln, I'm talking Acura, Lexus. What else is there?
There's a bunch. Mercedes, but we already know that. Volvo.
But I'm talking the brands who have a normal brand and then have a luxury version, like Cadillac.
Oh, okay, so Cadillac and Infiniti. That's probably it.
Yeah.
All right. One thing I did find annoying is using the heated seat button because the heated and cooled is buried in there. So if you didn't know you had cooled seats, you would never press that button.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks really hard.
Yeah.
But like, what can I do? They'll change it in 3 years and it'll be fine. Maybe 2, hopefully 2.
Hopefully 1.
So now the seats.
The seats are great.
Very comfortable, very simple, easy to adjust, and they're somewhat sporty, I think.
Oh, they are. They're definitely like well bolstered. This is a very comfortable seat to sit in. I would have no issues going on a long road trip in this car.
And now let's talk about the interior materials. We've got diagonal lines crossing each other. That's what I like to call this pattern. And then we've got like nice soft touch material on the dash and on the sides. And then on the door panels, we've got nice soft material.
Yeah, it's probably Alcantara. Looks pretty nice, feels pretty nice. And overall, I'm not exactly blown away by this interior. It doesn't look very premium to me. It doesn't look very luxury to me. It looks good, it looks fine, but I don't feel like I'm in a luxury car.
It feels sport, somewhat luxury.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't feel like I'm in a Honda Pilot. I feel like I'm better than that, but I don't quite feel like I'm in a Mercedes or something like that.
Okay, let's talk about the Honda Pilot real quickly.
Okay.
So that is kind of the same version of this, but by Honda.
Yes.
That had the full moonroof. This only has a little sunroof.
Exactly.
That has the newer infotainment. This has a kind of old one.
Yeah, very old.
So like if you're in the market for both right now,
The Honda Pilot's pretty good.
it's kind of more future.
But this one handles way better and looks way better.
Very, 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 very true. Okay, now some other stuff. In the trunk, we do not have kick to open here,
No, we don't.
which is weird.
At least we couldn't get it to work, but I'm pretty sure we don't have it.
Also in the interior, we do have this nice armrest compartment. It double opens, and we've got this tray that slides back, which is pretty cool.
But it's kind of funny because when you open the armrest compartment and slide the tray forward, it's actually just the same compartment.
Well, it's like a cell phone holding thing because it's got rubber grips on it.
Yeah, I guess.
Except no wireless charging because 2005 didn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this wasn't designed in 2005.
But we just keep saying the old version.
I'm sure if I compare this map to my mom's 2007 RDX map, probably the same.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's pretty much it. There's not too much more to talk about because it is pretty old in here.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually kind of like that there's not a million features.
Yeah, but the features they have are built into this crappy screen that are hard to use, so it kind of cancels itself out.
Yeah, that's kind of true, actually.
So let's talk about the price.
It is $61,196 with the optional $500 paint.
Canadian.
Yes, that's right. For you confused Americans.
That's a lot considering it's older in here, but some people will like that, and not everybody cares that they're getting the old tech in a newer car.
Yeah, and I think it's actually a pretty good value because this is a 3-row, so it's a 3-row luxury SUV. That's pretty good, even though the 3-row is not very big.
But back to what I was saying earlier about the older tech in a new car. So say you got a new Android, you got like a Pixel 3 or something.
Yes, I did.
What was like an old operating system from like 2012?
I don't remember which one it was, but it would have been like Android 3, 4, 5?
So imagine
3.
imagine if that was on your phone.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
It's like when someone buys like that Motorola phone and then like attaches that camera attachment to it. Like, is this car that good of a camera to accept the crappy Motorola phone?
I kind of understand what you're trying to say.
Like, not everyone thinks about it, not everyone cares, but I do.
It wouldn't bother me that much. Like, this is bad, but it's usable. The rest of the car
Dude, you
is
would
great.
not even walk. You would walk right out if you saw this.
No, I
If you're
wouldn't.
new car shopping.
Well,
Exactly.
I like the look of the car. I'll buy a car for the look and for the performance before I even bother looking at the infotainment.
Okay, for me, it's got to be a whole package. So let's compare this to the other 3-row SUVs we've driven. The Durango SRT,
Yep.
Pilot.
And the Atlas, which are not luxury, but those are the only ones that we've driven.
Which one would you take?
I honestly really like how this one handles, but I think I would probably go with the Pilot.
I'd probably go with the Durango.
Well, the Durango's cheater because that was an SRT. Like, that doesn't even count.
Yeah, but it had like the better infotainment, the better winding satellite radio. It was a bigger 3-row. It had more stuff that I appreciated.
I would need the SRT version of it, so I can't even not get that one if I was to get that one. So I can't imagine with the 3.6 or 3.7, whatever they have, the V6.
So let us know if you're shopping for an MDX. What did you compare it to? Why did you pick it over something else? Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Check out our patreon.com/TheStraightPipes, join our YouTube membership, hit the like button, and leave a comment.
And don't forget to compliment my sweater again.
What about my shirt? Buy a shirt. We got a merch store. Merch store.
I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. Subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.